Welcome to Capsule Tales, the podcast that takes you on an extraordinary journey through the annals of history. I'm your guide and seeker of remarkable stories, Chase, and together we are about to embark on a captivating adventure that will transport you to the frozen landscapes of the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. Close your eyes and imagine standing on the precipice of a world untouched by civilization, a land where ice and snow stretch as far as the eye can see. The chilling wind bites at your face, and the ice beneath your feet threatens to give way at any moment, plunging you into the depths of the ocean. You've already watched your ship sink beneath the ice, and now you're stranded, hundreds of miles from solid ground, on the ice sheets surrounding Antarctica. When all hope is lost, can you count on your captain to navigate you to safety? In this episode, we delve deep into the extraordinary life and expeditions of one man who dared to challenge the very limits of human endurance, Sir Ernest Shackleton. But this is not a journey for the faint of heart. As we traverse the icy wastelands alongside Shackleton and his crew, we will encounter bone-chilling blizzards, towering ice formations that threaten to engulf us, and the constant danger of the elements conspiring against our survival. Shackleton's story is one of triumph and tragedy, of leadership and camaraderie, and of unwavering determination in the face of unimaginable adversity. Join me as we navigate the frozen landscapes, feel the biting cold, and witness the incredible feats of courage that have made Shackleton a legend. So grab your coats, pack your survival gear, and prepare to be transported back in time to the golden era of Antarctic exploration. This is the tale of a man who defied the odds, left an unforgettable mark on history, and whose name continues to inspire adventurers and dreamers to this day. Let our journey begin. Part 1. Frozen Fantasies from the 20th Century. In the early 20th century, a remarkable era known as the heroic age of Antarctic exploration captivated the imagination of adventurers and scientists around the world. It was a time when intrepid explorers sought to conquer the last great unknown, the icy and treacherous continent of Antarctica. Among these daring individuals, one name stands out as a symbol of unwavering determination and unyielding spirit: Sir Ernest Shackleton. Before we delve into the extraordinary life of Shackleton, let us first set the stage and understand the backdrop against which his epic story unfolds. At the turn of the 20th century, Antarctica remained largely uncharted and shrouded in mystery. The allure of this vast and unforgiving landmass drew numerous explorers, each driven by a burning desire to uncover its secrets and claim their place in history. Previous expeditions, led by notable figures like Robert Falcon Scott, Roald Amundsen, and Karsten Borchgrevink, had made significant strides in mapping the frozen continent. Scott's Terra Nova expedition, 1910 through 1913, came tantalizingly close to reaching the South Pole, but tragically ended in disappointment and loss. It was Amundsen's Norwegian team that ultimately claimed that coveted prize in December 1911, beating Scott by a matter of weeks. Yet, the ambition of Antarctic exploration extended beyond mere conquest. The continent held scientific wonders and invaluable discoveries waiting to be made. The exploration teams conducted meteorological observations, studied the region's unique wildlife, and analyzed geological formations to expand humanity's understanding of this remote and hostile environment. It was against this backdrop of fierce competition, scientific curiosity, and unyielding ambition that Sir Ernest Shackleton set his sights on a seemingly impossible goal: to traverse the entire Antarctic continent from one coast to the other. His ambition was fueled by the failure of his previous expedition, which would have made him the first person to reach the South Pole. The failure of the Nimrod expedition served as a defining moment in his life and fueled his unwavering determination to embark on the audacious transantarctic expedition. Despite coming remarkably close to reaching the South Pole, Shackleton was forced to turn back just 97 nautical miles away due to dwindling supplies and the perilous conditions of the Antarctic terrain. This setback, instead of dampening his spirit, ignited an even greater fire within Shackleton. The disappointment of falling short of his goal intensified Shackleton's resolve to leave a mark on Antarctic exploration. He became driven to undertake this unprecedented feat. The lure of the uncharted and the desire to test the limits of human endurance propelled Shackleton forward. The failure of the Nimrod expedition transformed Shackleton into a resolute leader, fueling his determination to conquer the untamed Antarctic wilderness and solidify his place in history. With the Trans-Antarctic expedition, Shackleton sought not only to achieve personal glory, but also to prove the feat was possible. The failure of his previous expedition became the catalyst that propelled him towards the greatest adventure of his life. Part 2. Shipwrecked in Icy Waters, the beginning of the adventure. To undertake this monumental journey, Shackleton assembled a team of experienced and adventurous men from various backgrounds. Among them were notable individuals such as Frank Wild, a seasoned polar explorer, and Tom Crean, a courageous Irish seaman. These men, along with 26 others, would join Shackleton in his quest to conquer the Antarctic in 1914. For this expedition, Shackleton acquired a sturdy and well-equipped vessel named Endurance. Originally built for polar exploration, the ship was aptly named after Shackleton's family motto, "By endurance we conquer." Endurance was a three-masted barquentine, weighing over 300 tons and equipped with engines for when conditions allowed. It was designed to withstand the crushing pressure of ice and navigate the treacherous waters of the Southern Ocean. On December 5, 1914, the Endurance set sail from the island of South Georgia in the South Atlantic, carrying Shackleton and his crew towards their ultimate goal. They made their way southward, navigating through stormy seas and frigid conditions, with anticipation and excitement filling the air. The journey to the Weddell Sea, where the expedition would begin, was not without its challenges, as they encountered thick pack ice and rough weather along the way. However, the crew remained steadfast in their determination to reach the Antarctic continent. As the Endurance sailed deeper into the Weddell Sea, they encountered an obstacle they could not have foreseen: the merciless grip of the Antarctic ice. Despite Shackleton's extensive polar experience, even he could not have anticipated the specific location and extent of the ice they encountered. The ever-shifting nature of the pack ice, influenced by ocean currents, wind patterns, and seasonal variations, made it nearly impossible to predict with certainty. On January 19, 1915, 5 months after leaving England, the ship became ensnared in the pack ice, its fate sealed for the foreseeable future. The crew's initial optimism quickly turned to apprehension as they realized the immense struggle that lay ahead. Becoming stuck in the pack ice comes with significant worries. The ice constantly moves and shifts, meaning anything stuck in the ice could be crushed, pulled under, or any other number of horrific fates. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as the Endurance remained firmly trapped in the icy grip. The crew faced the harsh reality of their predicament, battling against freezing temperatures, shifting ice flows, and the constant threat of the ship being crushed. Shackleton's leadership was tested as he navigated the delicate balance of keeping morale high and preparing for the worst-case scenario. In the face of these daunting challenges, the crew of the Endurance displayed unwavering determination and resilience. Little did they know that their incredible story of survival was just beginning, and their bond as a team would be put to the ultimate test in the months to come. Part 3. Icebound Odyssey: Life and Survival on the Frozen Frontier. The long Antarctic winter brought with it a barrage of challenges that tested the limits of human endurance. Temperatures plummeted, and the crew found themselves engulfed in darkness for months on end. With no escape from the desolate ice, they had to confront the harsh realities of their predicament. Maintaining morale became a crucial aspect of their survival. Shackleton understood the importance of uplifting the spirits of his crew. He organized various activities and routines to keep them engaged and focused. Scientific experiments, theatrical performances, and even impromptu soccer matches helped to stave off the monotony and despair. Despite their efforts to preserve the Endurance, the relentless ice ultimately crushed their ship, as well as their hopes. After being stuck in the ice for almost 10 months, the crew was forced to abandon their beloved ship, which had become their home in this unforgiving environment. It was a heart-wrenching moment as they watched the vessel that had carried them so far succumb to the unrelenting power of nature. Photos of the ship during this time were taken and are linked in the description. They provide a small glimpse into the harsh world of this impossible story. Establishing a camp on the ever-shifting ice became the crew's lifeline, a testament to their resourcefulness and determination. They salvaged what they could from the ship, including supplies, equipment, and 3 22-foot lifeboats. With these meager resources, they constructed makeshift shelters and organized their limited provisions while planning their next move. The ever-shifting and cracking ice forced the crew to move near constantly. Any sound they heard could mean that the ice floes were becoming unsafe. Shackleton decided to push towards Paulet Island, the nearest landmass, which was nearly 350 miles from their location. As the crew moved in that direction, the shifting and drifting ice forced them in and out of the lifeboats nearly at random times, as the ice wasn't a single solid sheet. The crew was forced to sail between the ice floes and drag the boats while on the ice. After nearly 5 months of travel, the crew realized that due to ice movement they were now close to Elephant Island, not their intended destination, but what would be a welcome respite from the ice nonetheless. They changed course and headed towards Elephant Island. Every day was a battle against the elements, with blizzards and sub-zero temperatures posing constant threats. Yet, through their unwavering resolve, they managed to create a semblance of order and security in this icy wasteland. They rationed their food and fuel, carefully managing their resources to extend their chances of survival. With their meager supplies dwindling, they relied on their resourcefulness and skill to hunt seals and penguins, utilizing every ounce of sustenance these creatures provided. Hunting became not just a means to fill their bellies, but a lifeline in this frozen wilderness, where the relentless pursuit of food was essential for their survival. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Shackleton's leadership and the crew's determination remained unwavering. The daily struggle for survival became a test of endurance not only against the elements, but also against their own mental and physical limits. It had been a year and a half since the Endurance had set sail from England. Part 4. Elephant Island, an oasis in the ice. On April 15th, more than 20 months after leaving England, the crew made landfall on Elephant Island. This was the first solid land that they had stood on in close to 500 days. Finally, they wouldn't need to constantly worry about the continuously shifting ice. Shackleton had this to say about the landfall.
As we clustered round the blubber stove, with the acrid smoke blowing in our faces, we were quite a cheerful company. Life was not so bad. We ate our evening meal while the snow drifted down from the surface of the glacier, and our chilled bodies grew warm.
Still, the crew was not out of trouble yet. Elephant Island was uninhabited, with no shelter or method to contact the outside world. In essence, unless something else was done, the crew had found a more comfortable place to die. Shackleton, realizing this, began planning a daring voyage to reach help. He would take one of the salvaged 22-foot lifeboats and sail it to a whaling station on South Georgia Island, nearly 800 miles from Elephant Island, and then come back with help for the stranded crew. To add insult to injury, between the two locations stretched some of the stormiest seas in the world. After a few weeks of planning and preparation, Shackleton and his small, hand-picked crew of 6 were ready to set sail. On Easter Monday, April 24th, 1914, the crew set sail for South Georgia Island. The men that remained on land used the other 2 lifeboats as shelter, using them as a roof for makeshift huts they constructed out of stone and salvaged material from the Endurance, providing them some shelter from the sub-zero temperatures. Part 5. Against all odds, Shackleton's second voyage begins. Setting sail on the James Caird, one of the 22-foot lifeboats from the Endurance, Shackleton and his crew faced the daunting task of navigating through stormy seas. The Southern Ocean unleashed its fury upon them, throwing monstrous waves and freezing winds in their path. They battled against these tempestuous elements, chipping away at the ice that continually formed on the lifeboat, threatening to weigh it down and capsize it. Imagine the scene, a small, fragile boat battling towering waves and icy spray, as Shackleton and his crew desperately used whatever means they had to chip at the ice encasing their vessel. Each swing of the axe or blow from a hammer was met with the relentless force of the ocean, adding a layer of ice with every wave. The harsh conditions extended beyond the exterior of the boat. Inside the boat, the crew's sleeping bags were frozen solid, rendering them useless and heavy. They had to discard these icy remnants along with many of the other supplies they had brought, leaving them with even less protection against the bitter cold. The boat was becoming too heavy due to the ice buildup, which was up to 15 inches on the deck of the boat. The boat made progress, traveling around 60 miles per day, allowing them to reach the shores of South Georgia Island in early May. But still, a journey lay ahead of them. They had landed 22 miles from the Stormness whaling station and would need to trek the remainder of the distance. The journey to the station would take them through the heart of the mountains located on South Georgia Island, a path no one had ever taken before. The 10-day trip through the mountains had taken them up over 5,000 feet of elevation covered in snow and ice. Finally, on May 20th, 1916, 21 months after they had set sail from England, Ernest Shackleton reached the whaling station. Part 6. Conquering the Elements, a Daring Rescue. Several attempts were made to rescue the stranded crew on Elephant Island. The third attempt involved a voyage to Punta Arenas in southern Chile to charter the schooner Emma. Unfortunately, this attempt was unsuccessful due to the auxiliary engine breaking down 100 miles north of Elephant Island, necessitating a fourth rescue attempt. Finally, with the assistance of the Chilean government, Shackleton was loaned the steam tug Yelcho, commanded by Captain Luis Alberto Pardo. On August 30th, 1916, the men on Elephant Island spotted the Yelcho, initially mistaking the announcement of "Ship-ho" for a call to lunch. The men soon realized they were about to be rescued. Within an hour, they were headed north, having survived on Elephant Island for 137 days. Not a single man of Shackleton's original crew of 28 was lost. And the James Caird, the lifeboat that carried Shackleton and 5 others to South Georgia Island, was brought back to England, and is a living reminder of this remarkable feat of courage and endurance. Part 7. Shackleton's Revenge, Quest for Antarctic Exploration. Even after the incredible ordeal of the Endurance expedition, Ernest Shackleton's passion for exploration in Antarctica remained unquenched. Following his return to England and receiving a hero's welcome, Shackleton set his sights once again on the frozen continent. In 1921, 5 years later, Shackleton led the Shackleton-Rowett expedition, also known as the Quest expedition. This expedition aimed to explore the uncharted territories of the Antarctic Peninsula and conduct scientific research. Shackleton hoped to accomplish a variety of objectives, including geographical exploration, geological studies, and collecting valuable data on oceanography and marine biology. Unfortunately, the Quest expedition faced numerous setbacks, including financial difficulties and mechanical failures. Despite these challenges, Shackleton and his team persevered, making important scientific contributions during their time in Antarctica. Tragically, it was during this expedition that Ernest Shackleton's journey came to an untimely end. On January 5, 1922, Shackleton suffered a heart attack and passed away aboard the Quest while anchored in South Georgia. His body was later laid to rest on the island, near the graves of his beloved companions Frank Wild and Tom Crean, 2 crewmates from the Endurance. While his final expedition may not have achieved all its intended objectives, Shackleton's legacy as a pioneering explorer and inspirational leader remains intact. His remarkable contributions to Antarctic exploration, both through the Endurance expedition and subsequent endeavors, continue to inspire generations of adventurers and scientists. As we conclude this podcast episode, let us carry the spirit of Shackleton's adventure with us. Let us be inspired by his unwavering determination, his exemplary leadership, and his resilience in the face of adversity. May his story continue to ignite the spark of exploration and embolden us to push beyond our limits, embrace challenges, and strive for greatness in our own lives. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through the life of Sir Ernest Shackleton. Until next time, keep exploring and never cease to chase your own extraordinary adventures.